Hello everyone. So today class we are going to discuss that is a pi acceptor behavior of CO in EMBO concept and VBT. In metal carbonyls, if you observe, the metal carbon bond possess the both sigma bond and as well as pi bond. Here you see this is a carbonyl ligand, and this ligand is basically providing 2 electrons for the metal, and it is having 2 electrons and which is donating this pair of electrons to the metal, and it is forming a sigma bond. At the same time, the metal is also having a filled orbitals and which is giving back to the carbonyl, and this carbonyl also providing the vacant pi star orbital, and this is going to form a pi bond. Here you see in the metal carbonyls, the metal carbon bond possess both sigma and as well as pi character. So here the bond between the metal carbon is having double bond character, and this double bond character is also further strengthened by a synergetic effect. So that we will study in detail. Here synergetic effect means this is a sigma bond and this is a pi bond. This is a self-strengthening bond. So one bond strength is going to increase by another bond. So here you see the sigma bond strength is further increased by this pi bond. Again this pi bond is going to increase the strength of sigma bond. So the double bond character of a metal carbon in the metal carbonyls has been confirmed by using these techniques, that is X-ray and electron diffraction methods. These are the two methods are suggested that the metal carbon in the metal carbonyls are having double bond character. Now we can see here, generally in the carbonyl EMBO diagram, if you observe this one, in the EMBO diagram of carbonyl, if you observe, it is providing a vacant pi star orbital. See, this is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbitals, and this is the highest occupied molecular orbital, and here it is providing a vacant pi star orbital for accepting electrons from the metal. Here you see this diagram, it is very easier to understand, as it carbonyl is consisting HOMO, this pair of these two electrons, HOMO electrons, sigma electrons, are donating to the metal, and it is donating to the metal and it is going to form sigma bond. At the same time, it is having two vacant pi star orbitals. With these two vacant pi star orbitals, it is again gaining back electrons from the metal and it is forming a pi bond. And here this CO ligand is having capability to combine with metal in various modes, like it can combine in terminal fashion, like it can just donate with single metal, or it can combine through a doubly bridged, this is a bridged, mu2 bridged, where the carbonyl is consisting only double bond rather than triple bond. Here you notice, as here number of bonds increase, here it is going to bond order reduces. Whenever it is going to combine with 3 metals, that is a triply bridged, automatically the CO bond is going to reduce, that is a bond strength is going to reduce, it is becoming as single bond. This is a double bond, this is a triple bond. So here the carbonyl can show 3 various binding modes with the metal, where one is a terminal mode, another is mu2 bridged, another is mu3 bridged. This actually explains by CO EMBO diagram. You can see here it is providing how many vacant orbitals? 3 kind of vacant orbitals, so that it can combine maximum with 3 metals. It can exist in triply bridged, and it is having a pair of electrons in the HOMO that can be donated and it will form sigma bond. So it is clear now all of you. So next one, regarding this concept, the stretching frequency will vary. Here you see the IR spectrum is the best technique to determine whether it is bridged carbonyl or terminal carbonyl. Why? Because the IR spectrum is giving information about a frequency interrelation with a bond order. Here the CO bond order is 3, but here it is 2 and here it is 1. So bond order is reduces, so frequency, stretching frequency also reduces. So regarding that, we will solve some few questions here. So these are the very important previously asked questions in the exam point of view. See this one, the values of CO stretching frequency follows the trend. They are asking the CO stretching frequency and asking to compare these three compounds. The first one they have given, that is a nickel tetracarbonate. So as we know that nickel is oriented in tetrahedral fashion in the nickel tetracarbonate, it is oriented tetrahedral. And here if you notice, the CO is a pi acceptor ligand, and if one of the CO is going to replace with a PPH3, what is going to happen? And PPH3 is a better sigma donor rather than, so here you see this is a CO and this is a PPH3. This is also will act as a sigma donor, and you can compare here the CO and PPH3 strength. Here CO is a good pi acceptor than PPH3. So in this case it can just donate rather than accepting. So electron density on the metal is gradually increases. As electron density increases of the metal, so metal can give back electrons to the carbonyl greater extent. So automatically metal carbon strength is going to increase. If metal carbon strength increases, CO strength is going to reduce. Here you see, this is generally CO is giving electrons, and as PPH3 also giving electrons here from this side, electron density on the metal is increases. So greater electron density means greater the negative charge accumulated on the metal. Generally metals are electropositive. It always tries to donate electrons back to the ligand. So during this process, this pi bond strength increases. As this pi bond strength increases gradually, so what will happen? This strength is going to decreases. CO strength is going to decreases. So that's why the substituted PPH3 compounds generally are having less vibrational frequency or less CO stretching frequency. So this is the first, which is having high CO stretching frequency. This is the second, and this will be the third. Next one is the correct order of CO stretching vibrational frequencies. See here also same concept. They are asking comparing the free CO and the CO which is connecting to the metal. We know that a free CO generally having high stretching frequency whenever it is combining with metal. For example, free CO is having triple bond. Whenever it is combining with a metal, gradually what will happen? This pi bond is going to become weakened and it will become as double bond, and here it is going to form a new pi bond. CO stretching frequencies reduces. If it is going to combine with a metal which is having a more negative charge, so metal is having more negative charge means the strength of this pi bond is gradually increases. Automatically this pi bond is going to reduces. So now you see which is having high CO stretching frequency. The first is free CO. The second is neutral metal. The third is metal is having -1 charge, and the fourth is metal is having -2 charge. Greater the negative charge on the metal, and greater will be this pi bond strength, and it will become lessening the CO stretching frequency by weakening this pi bond. So same concept here also. Next question you see, among the following in the decreasing, arranged in the decreasing order of the back donation of a back bonding. So back donation, when it will going to decrease, as I said earlier, if metal is having negative charge, here you see, if metal is having negative charge, then back donation will be very high. For example, in the VCO case, the CO is donating a pair of electrons to the metal, and the metal also having a negative charge, it can give easily to the electrons back to the carbonyl. So this is a back bonding. So this back bonding capacity, that is a back bonding donating capacity, will be greater for the metal which is having a negative charge, and this back bonding capacity will be lesser for the metal which are having positive charge. So the iridium is the one which is having highest positive charge, so this is having a very less back bonding capacity. So first one. Second is this one, you can consider one positive. Third is neutral, and fourth one which is having a negative, that is this one, uni-negative charge, and the fifth one is having a 2- charge titanium. As it is having greater negative charge, it can donate easily back electrons back to the carbonyl, and back bonding capacity will be very high in the case of titanium. So here how you will arrange decreasing order. Decreasing order means first you write D will be having very less back bonding capacity. The highest one is what? Highest one is B. next is E, next A, and next C, last is D. And next one is the infrared stretching frequency of mu CO of a PS follows. P2S compounds they have given. So if you look at the infrared stretching frequency of these compounds, as I said, free CO is having mu CO stretching frequency is very high. At the same time, it is connected to the BH3, as the BH3 is a Lewis acid. It is just accepting a pair of electrons. It can donate electrons back or not. It cannot donate electrons back. So come to this one, that is a vanadium hexacarbonyl. That is CO is donating electrons to the vanadium, at the same time vanadium also donating back because of negative charge. So this strength is increasing, so automatically this strength is going to become weakened. So CO stretching frequency is very low in the case of S, and it is very high in the case of these two, and it will be normal in the case of CO. So the correct order will be, as it is doesn't have any electrons to donate to the back to the ligand, that is a carbonyl, so which is having higher stretching frequency, because the BCOH3 is a Lewis acid which can just accept a pair of electrons. It do not have any back bonding to the CO. As it do not have any back bonding, it won't affect in the CO stretching frequency. So this will be having very high CO stretching frequency. The next one is Q, and the next one is S, and which is having a highest CO stretching frequency, that is a R will be having, this will be having highest CO stretching frequency, and which is having low CO stretching frequency, that is a S is having low CO stretching frequency. So R means this one having high CO stretching, then Q, then P, then S. S means this one. So this is having very low CO stretching frequency, because this pi bond strength increases, automatically this bond strength decreases, CO stretching frequency also decreases. Come to the next question. There is a reaction of pentacarbonyl iron with cycloheptatriene and gives a product A, and which is releasing 3 CO ligands, and what is the hapticity of this cycloheptatriene? So here you see this is a FeCO5, and which is going to release 3 CO molecules. Here you can see this is releasing 3 CO, and it is left over how many COs? 2 CO only connected there, and which is further connected with a CP ligand. CP is what? That is a cyclopentadiene ligand. Sorry, this is not CP, this is cycloheptatriene molecule. So as the cycloheptatriene, this is a cycloheptatriene, you can imagine. So in the cycloheptatriene, in this case the iron is generally having how many electrons? So total it is having 26 electrons, and 2 COs are providing 4 electrons. It became how much? 30. To reach nearest noble gas, that is 36, it is required 6 electrons. So it requires eta 6 hapticity, then only it can obey the EAN rule. That's why this compound shows eta 6 hapticity. So the next question you see here, that is the correct order of a basicity of a carbonylate anion is. Basicity means what? The donating capacity. Here the one which is having more electrons that can donate easily. Now look at here, this is the complexes they have given, the carbonyl compounds, that is a pentacarbonyl manganese and pentacarbonyl titanium and the pentacarbonyl rhenium. So here manganese, rhenium are the same family and the titanium is different family. Come to this one, manganese. As manganese is consisting 25 and total 5 multiply with 2, that is 10, and which is having -1 charge, so plus 1 extra electron manganese. So total it is becoming 36. As it already obeys 18 effective atomic number rule or 18 electron rule, you can also calculate. So it doesn't require to donate or to accept electron. So come to this one, this is a titanium. In the case of titanium, you can see here, titanium is having atomic number that is a 22 which is having 10 more electrons from the carbonyl, 5 carbonyls, which is having 32 and 33. So as it is a 33, so it has to reach 336. So what is happening? Sorry, I think this is a technetium, not titanium. Sorry. So they are asking, I think, the size variation, because all are actually obeys 18 electron and effective atomic number rule. But here in the manganese, technetium and the rhenium, the size is gradually increases. As the size increases, automatically the basicity also carbonylate ion also increases. Why? Because that can donate easily electrons. So the correct basicity order will be this one: manganese and technetium, rhenium. Sorry, next question you see, among the following, the metal that does not form homoleptic polynuclear carbon complexes are. Homoleptic means the one which is having a similar kind of metals. So generally, for among the following, the metal does not form homoleptic polynuclear. You know that manganese can form homoleptic polynuclear. Why it is forming polynuclear? But mononuclear do not obey effective atomic number rule, which is only having 35. To reach 36, it has to form manganese-manganese dimer. That's why this can form dimer. And come to the iron. Iron also can form Fe2CO9, Fe3CO12. And come to this one, cobalt. Cobalt also can form, that is a CO2CO8, we know that. All are undergoing dimerization except chromium. Why? Because the chromium, in the case of monomeric state itself, it is obeys effective atomic number rule and 18 electron rule. So it doesn't require to undergo either dimerization or trimerization. So it won't form homoleptic polynuclear compounds. So the next one is, if the stretching frequency of this one they have given, that is a trimethoxyphosphine and tricarbonyl nickel is A, then and that stretching frequency of, that is a, what they have given, that is a bis trimethyl phosphine with dicarbonyl nickel. Here this trimethoxy is a electron withdrawing group and trimethyl phosphine is a electron donating. We know that whenever it is attached to the electron withdrawing, the metal is having less electron density. If it is having less electron density, so automatically it can gain electrons, but it cannot give back electrons to the CO. So that's why this pi bond strength is reduces, so automatically this strength is going to increases. So here the stretching frequencies of CO will be very high in the case of electron withdrawing groups, then electron donating groups. Come to the last one, that is the mu CO, that is a mu MC bond length in sodium VCO6 and VCO6 has given like this 1.9 and 2. Come to the VCO6 minus. In the case of VCO6 minus, what is happening? The vanadium is gaining one more extra negative charge when it is combined with sodium. So as it is having negative charge, so automatically the pi bond strength will be very high. So the metal pi back bonding strength is very high. So automatically this bond length is going to reduce. Bond order is increases, bond length reduces. But in the case of VCO6, here it doesn't have any negative charge. So this pi bond strength is less. So the bond order is there, but it is strength is less. So this is having a 2 angstrom and this is having a 1.9 angstrom. Because of more bond order and lesser will be the bond length. Okay, thanks for watching this video.